This video is a culmination of all the Chicago gang members that died in the year of 2024, which is a total of 125 gang members, starting in December coming into January of 2024. So far in 2024, every 5 minutes and 37 seconds, a person is shot in Chicago, and every 27 minutes and 16 seconds, a person is murdered. And so far this year, 22 people have been murdered, which is half of what it usually is. And in the month of December through January, only about 12 gang members died, which has been about 18 males that have died and 3 females that have died. This first guy was from the 757 set, which is a set of gangster disciples and black disciples, which they are located in the Douglas Park neighborhood. And I have a whole hit list on my page about 757, so make sure you go check that out. But on December 9th, 2023, Corey Ivy, aka Psycho Savage / Lil Corey, was found in the driver's seat of a parked vehicle in the first block of West Cermak Road around 9:15 p.m. He was 32 years of age and suffered from gunshot wounds to the chest and was taken to Northwestern Memorial Hospital where he died from his injuries. And when he was killed, he was in State Boys 021's hood. This next guy was from the Blackgate set, and these guys are mostly black disciples located around the area of 54th and Indiana. And recently, Blackgate has formed an alliance with DOD called Checkout Gang. Both of these gangs claim this and are closely connected. But on December 10th, 2023, Keelan Woods, aka Benji Chasen / BK, was at the Red Roof Inn that Saturday afternoon at 3017 West Coliseum Boulevard around 3 p.m. when he was found suffering from gunshot wounds. 26-year-old Keelan Woods was taken to the hospital where he later died from his injuries.
Around 2:50 this afternoon, the Fort Wayne police were called to the Red Roof Inn on West Coliseum on a report of shots fired. When police arrived, they found a person with gunshot wounds. They were taken to an area hospital in critical condition. Our reporter on scene witnessed 2 men being placed into handcuffs and put into the back of police cars.
The U.S. Marshals then arrested Tommy Layman Gray, 21 years of age. He was arrested just a few days after this. This next situation was a crazy situation, and it happened on December 15th, 2023. Police and firefighters will respond to a car on fire in an alley in the 3700 block of South Parnell Avenue. Just shortly after 2 a.m., Kidney Smith, aka Baby Do It from the Nitty Block / Muff Mob set, was found in the trunk of the car, dead. He also had gunshot wounds to the neck and chest and was pronounced dead on the scene. Then on December 17th, 2023, at about 10:45 a.m., officers responded to a shot spotter alert right in the 3800 block of West Glades Avenue. When they arrived, they found 28-year-old LaShawn Johnson, aka Sean from the Lavender Mob set. He was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital, initially in critical condition, but due to his injuries, he died. This next guy that lost his life was from the B Gang / Harlem Boys set, which is a set of mainly conservative vice lords and four corner hustlers. And they are located in the West Garfield Park neighborhood, mainly on the blocks of Lake and Hamlin. But on December 18th, 2023, Lamont Williams, aka Lil Sean / S4, was in the 1200 block of South Ashland Avenue, right inside of a parking lot, when the 17-year-old was shot multiple times in the body. And he was shot in Teddy Mob's hood. He actually took himself to Stroger's Hospital, but later was pronounced dead from his injuries. This next alleged gang member was charged with a shooting that injured a bystander just a year before he died. It was only a day later on December 19th, 2023. Mickey L. Payton, aka Block Y / 4Baby from the Harvey World set, was shot multiple times in a North Minneapolis residence in a block of 915 North Newton Avenue, just around 6:35 p.m. First responders attempted to save his life, but he died from his injuries. Then on December 27th, 2023, would be a Geno gang member that would be taken out. This Geno gang is mostly filled with gangster disciples and conservative vice lords located on 73rd and Ada. But on December 27th, 2023, Tracy Cooper, aka Roscoe from Geno Gang, was in the 1300 block of West 73rd Street at about 1:30 a.m. when someone walked up on him and shot him in the chest. He was taken to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead from his injuries. Then January 12, 2024, a THF 46 member would die. THF stands for Trigger Happy Family, and they located in the North Kenwood neighborhood on the south side of Chicago, which has both BDs and GDs in it. But on January 12, 2024, police responded to a person shot in the 8400 block of South Vincent's Avenue. And when they arrived, they found Shannon Sargo, aka SK from the THF 46 set. He was taken to Christ Hospital where he was pronounced dead, and he was in STB's hood arguing with someone when he was shot. This next alleged gang member would die in an unusual way. It was January 14, 2024. Jordan Fox, aka Big Top from the Beam Team, allegedly committed self-harm to herself. He was an up-and-coming rapper and was the first loss for Beam Team in 2024. Only 4 days later, another Beam Team member would die. Orlando Lofton, aka King Fo, was shot at about 3:30 a.m. while riding in a westbound car near Polani Street. Lofton was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead at 4:36 a.m. Then on January 26, 2024, 2 Nitty Block members will lose their life.
The scene with more of that exclusive video. Suzanne.
Joe, Erica, police say that these teens, just 16 and 17 years old. I'm going to show you right now where this all happened. Now, they were shot just on the other side of this elevator structure that you see behind me, close to the street. You see both victims here on the left side of your screen. Here on the right, a dark-colored SUV pulls up underneath the train tracks. At least one person can be seen running from the vehicle, ambushing the victims. The shooter then runs back into the SUV. The driver takes off on Wabash South.
To my arm, but just like passing by. And yeah, here.
So the bullet did that?
Yes.
It was around 12:25 p.m. 16-year-old Robert Boston and 17-year-old Monterio Williams was near Washington Street and Wabash Avenue when a dark-colored sedan and an SUV pulled up to a crowd. Then masked gunmen got out and opened fire. 4 of the attackers fled in a vehicle and 2 other people took off on foot. There were 2,880 people shot in total across the city last year, which is a 17% decrease from 2022. And that figure is also down 34% over 2021's total, when 4,384 people were shot. And in December of 2023 alone, there were 37 homicides and 154 shootings. This is mainly because of the police presence in Chicago and how fast they respond to 911 calls, with the average in Chicago being 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Despite the drop in shootings and homicides, the number of robberies and motor vehicle thefts reported in 2023 both jumped significantly, with there being 11,051 robberies and 29,287 reported motor vehicle thefts. The police department said it recovered 12,400 illegal firearms during 2023, which that's on average about 34 guns recovered each day. Many different gang members die in Chicago each month, but so far this year, murders have been down about 20%. With every 4 hours and 13 minutes, a person is shot, and every 18 hours and 12 minutes, a person is murdered. And there's been about 120 murders so far this year, which is a steady decline from 2021, which had 149 murders around this time, with most people dying from being shot in the head or torso, with these murders happening pretty much all over the city.
Bad boy. Y'all want to see the crib? No. They doing that. Everybody is over with. It's over with. It's sleep. See that shit on my back, boy?
But even though the murders have been going down, there's been a lot of crazy murder situations, from kids dying to murders being caught on tape, which is actually the first murder that happened on February 7th, 2024, with a father getting shot in front of his two daughters and the mother of his child on tape. I can't show the full thing on YouTube, so make sure you go to my website to see the uncensored version in the murder surveillance section. But around 6:40 p.m., Terrence Person, aka TP from THF 46, was holding some kind of sign while walking with his two daughters and the mother of his child in the 5400 block of West Madison Avenue when two people got out of a white Nissan and shot him 24 times right in front of his daughter. They then got back into the Nissan and made a U-turn and sped off down Madison, leaving THF TP lying on the sidewalk while his family ran off. And he actually died in Long City Hood. 29-year-old Terrence Persons was pronounced dead at the scene, and this would mark the first brutal murder of this month. Then about 8 days later, on February 15th, 2024, Barry Nelson III, aka Mad Max / BJ from the Boogie World set, was sitting in a car in Bud City Hood in the 10,000 block of South Longley Avenue when someone walked up on him and shot him multiple times around 12:20 p.m. He was shot in the face and neck and was pronounced dead at the scene at only the age of 30. Boogie World / Ace Block is a set of mostly conservative vice lords. They mostly beef with sets like G-Town, Hit Squad, Dune Squad, and Face World 069. Then on the same day around 7:50 p.m., Jordan Jackson, aka Jay from the BBMG set, was found with gunshot wounds at about 7:50 p.m. in Johnny Mob's hood in the 1300 block of South Springfield Avenue. He was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital where he was pronounced dead from his injuries. About 10 days later, a 14-year-old from NLMB would die. It was February 25th, 2024. 14-year-old Amir Dees, aka D-Money, allegedly from the NLMB set, was inside a home in the 8000 block of South Vincent's Avenue when police say two attackers, possibly as young as 14 years old, bursted into the home, and after a brief argument, they opened fire, killing Amir. This happened in Face World 079's hood. Then a week later, on March 2nd, 2024, a 15-year-old would die. Jeremy Smith Jr., aka Jermo from the Hood Gang set, was in the 500 block of West Roosevelt Road when a 14-year-old boy walked up on him and shot him multiple times. After the shooting, the police chased the boy and put him into custody, but 15-year-old Jeremy Smith Jr. was taken to Stroger's Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Then March 6, 2024, Jabaris Williams, aka Baba from the BBMG set, was in the 2900 block of West Fulton Street at about 10:40 a.m. with a girl when someone got out of a car and opened fire. He was taken to Stroger's Hospital in critical condition where he died later on. The woman, 21 years of age, was struck 5 times in the leg and was also taken to Stroger's Hospital but in stable condition. This was the second loss for BBMG in 2024, and he got killed in SF Hood. BBMG lost a high-ranking member back in 2022, and this guy was actually killed on film, which you can go to my site and see the uncensored version in the murder surveillance section. Then March 8th, 2024, the Legion's Crawl, aka Lil D / Toady from the Trap City set, was near Alley just before 2:30 p.m. in the 7400 block of South Euclid Avenue when a fight broke out where him and a 20-year-old man was shot, but 36-year-old the Legion's Crawl was pronounced dead at the scene with bullet wounds to the head. Then March 12, 2024, Antonio Rogers, aka Stony Rich from Ducktown, and Tawan Washington, aka Man from BVC, were traveling north in a blue sedan at about 3:20 p.m. in the 6800 block of South State Street when someone in a silver car fired shots. They both suffered gunshot wounds to the head and was taken to University of Chicago Medical Center where they was pronounced dead from their injuries. Then only a day later, on March 13th, 2024, this guy was from the DOD set, and DOD beefs hard with BVC, so this next murder was probably retaliation for Man. Tyree Player, aka Lil Terry / Swervo from DOD, was inside a parked car with his 15-year-old sister in the Roseland neighborhood in the 200 block of West 109th Place just after 12:30 a.m. when a shot spotter reported 18 rounds fired. When they arrived, they found 24-year-old Terry Player and his 15-year-old sister, also named Terry Player, with an eye. Sadly, they were both pronounced dead at the scene. Reports say that 3 people walked up on a car and started shooting. DOD is a set of mostly black disciples located on 68th and Wabash. They pretty much EBK, which means they beef with pretty much everybody. Then on March 20th, 2024, NLMB would take another loss. Tyree Brown, aka Ty from the NLMB set, was standing outside in the 700 block of East 91st Place when a white vehicle pulled up and opened fire. 14-year-old Tyree Brown was taken to Coma Children's Hospital where he died. Then March 26, 2024, an OTE member would die, and this guy would die in an unusual way, which OTE is a gangster disciple set from Cabrini Green projects around the area of Oak and Hudson, and this gang has been around since the 80s. And Cabrini Green, where they're located, the high-rise buildings is long gone and is only 30 to 50% inhabited, and the rest are vacant row houses. But on March 26, 2024, Ronnie Johnson, aka Ronnie from OTE, was found at about 9 a.m. in an alley in the 2600 block of West 61st Street. He was found with multiple stab wounds to the groin, and allegedly a female was the one that stabbed him. He was taken to University of Chicago Medical Center where he was pronounced dead. The female though was taken into custody by police, which that murder is a crazy murder that probably involved a relationship. Every 3 hours and 28 minutes, a person is shot in Chicago, and every 16 hours and 53 minutes, a person is murdered, which was a pretty significant decline from last year's total of every 2 hours and 51 minutes, a person was shot, and every 13 hours and 36 minutes, a person was murdered. And around this time last year, there was a total of 258 murders, and this year, it was only 219 murders around this time. With less murders mean less gang members dying each month, which is a good thing, but for the months of April and May, a total of 20 gang members died in Chicago, with actually some of these murders happening on camera. And these murders will start happening on April 8th, 2024. And this will be a young NLMB member. 18-year-old Michael Daniels, aka Mikey D from the NLMB set, was standing on a sidewalk at around 7:15 p.m. in the 800 block of South Phillips Avenue when someone opened fire. He was struck in the head and was taken to University of Chicago Medical Center where he died from his injuries. Then April 9th, 2024, James Smith Jr., aka Jr. from the PBG set, was in the 6900 block of North Glenwood Avenue, where him, 33 years of age, and a 41-year-old dog walker got shot in the back. The men got out of a gray Ford Edge and opened fire at him, killing James Jr. Smith and injuring the 41-year-old dog walker. Then April 10th, only a day later, Dontius Wilson, aka G. Daysky from the Spaz Gang set, was in a drive share vehicle in the 600 block of West 69th Street at around 1 a.m. when someone in a dark colored sedan blocked him in and fired shots. Dontius Wilson was shot multiple times and was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center where he later died. He was only 23 years of age, and the Uber driver told the news station that it was a horrifying experience, and he probably won't be driving for Uber no more. Only about 3 hours later on the same day, Dwight Rice, aka D Nice from O Block, was found outside in the 1900 block of Northport Drive at just about 6:30 p.m. His 27-year-old girlfriend was arrested for the murder and charged with domestic first-degree intentional homicide. He was only 31 years of age of his death. Then on the same day around 9:26 p.m., Tyrese Anderson, aka Ty from Chin World, was sitting in a car in the 7600 block of South Poloni Avenue when 3 male suspects approached and opened fire on foot, killing 30-year-old Tyrese Anderson and wounding another 20-year-old with him. Then 3 days later on the 13th of April, Elijah Howard, aka Nuki from Lamron, was in the 15,000 block of Central Park and Markham when someone opened fire on him, striking him multiple times. He would be pronounced dead at 3:38 a.m. Then on the same day at around 5:15 p.m., 2 men were fatally shot within minutes of each other, about a half a mile apart. Officers found 22-year-old Tyrese Patton, aka Reese from Syracuse City. They found him lying in the street in the 7700 block of Carpenton Avenue with multiple gunshot wounds. He was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center where he later died from his injuries. And also a 20-year-old man was fatally shot on the sidewalk in the 7700 block of South Union, which was literally blocks away from this murder. But on the next day, another alleged young gang member would die. It was April 15th, 2024. At around 1:20 a.m., Keys Hudges, aka Cash from Fredo Boys, was in the hallway of an apartment building in the 1600 block of West 82nd Street. Striking him in the chest, he was taken to Advocate Christ Medical Center where he was pronounced dead. Almost 2 weeks would go by before another alleged gang member would die. It would be April 28th, 2024. Police were called to the 8800 block of South Burley Avenue at about 11 p.m. when he found 33-year-old Jeremy Ray, aka Chicken from the GME set, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds to his torso. He was taken to University of Chicago Medical Center where he was pronounced dead. That would mark a total of 9 murders for the month of April of 2024. Now going into May of 2024, these murders would start on the 1st. A man was killed and another was wounded in a shooting that Wednesday. Isarius Jones, aka OJ, from the Hood Gang set, and another man was standing on the sidewalk at about 4:50 p.m. in the 6600 block of South Blackstone Avenue when someone fired multiple shots, hitting Isarius Jones in the leg and the stomach. He was taken to Chicago Medical Center where he was pronounced dead at the age of 29. The other 33-year-old man had a graze wound to the arm and was listed in good condition. It was then 3 days later on the 4th of May of 2024. Thomas Antoine, aka T Slick from the O Block / Lamron set, was found with gunshot wounds inside of a vehicle in the 2100 block of North Gale Avenue, but he was taken to the hospital where he later died. Then the next day on the 5th, Kokomo police officers were called to an area of Ohio Street and Richmond at approximately 3:07 p.m. when they arrived on scene and found a red Pontiac Vibe crashed into a parked semi-trailer. 21-year-old Marshawn Birch, aka 44 from the Gigi Way set, was trapped inside the vehicle and was found suffering from gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead from his injuries. This next murder would be actually caught on surveillance. It was on the same day on May 5th, 2024. 3 men were in the 7900 block of South Cottage Grove Avenue at about 5:07 p.m. when 4 people with handguns approached and opened fire. 36-year-old Tyrone McClinton, aka G-Ty from the NLMB set, was the one shot multiple times. He was taken to Chicago Medical Center where he later died from his injuries. The other men shot had non-life-threatening injuries though. Then 5 days would go by before another alleged gang member would die. It was May 10th, 2024. At around 7:20 p.m., police would find a person shot inside a car. The person found would be Lee Scott, aka 3 Feet / Lee, from the Hood Gang set, after someone waved the officers in the area to alert them that the car had been crashed. In the 6700 block of South Woodlawn Avenue, he suffered from gunshot wounds to the chest and was taken to University of Chicago Medical Center where he died. This would be the 3rd loss for Hood Gang this year, and he was a rapper too. Then 2 days later on the 12th of May, Kayla Dunbar, aka Baby KD from the Evans Mob set, was in the alley in DBC's hood in the 10,000 block of Indiana Avenue just before 5 p.m. when someone fired shots and shot him in the neck. He was taken to Christ Medical Center in Oakland in critical condition where he later died. Then 4 days later on the 20th of May, 19-year-old Matthew Tennant, aka 10 from the Kush Cowboys set, was found in a home in the 7700 block of South Thrope Street at about 1:45 p.m. He was shot in the head and was pronounced dead at the scene. Then May 24th, 2024, Cameron Jones, aka Lil KJ from the Same Gang set, was in the 4700 block of West Polk Street when someone inside a car drove by and fired shots. He was struck in the chest and taken to Mount Sinai Hospital where he died too. He was only 19 years of age at his death. Then on the same day on the 24th, 15-year-old Coben Brown, aka Cobra from the Hood Gang set, was killed in a high-speed crash in Inglewood. He was 1 out of 5 people inside of a stolen black Honda when it was traveling at a high rate of speed down Ashland, eventually running a red light on 59th when it crashed into another car. All the other guys fled from the car, but Coben Brown died from his injuries. A handgun was recovered from the scene too. Then on May 27th, which would be our last murder, and will mark the 20th murder over 2 months, DNCO Dorsey, aka Baby D from Beam Team, was in the 1400 block of South Sacramento Drive at about 6 a.m. when someone fired multiple shots, police said. He was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital where he later died. He was allegedly the main face of Beam Team and was a well-loved member. Over 14 people died in the month of June of 2024. June was a crazy month for Chicago gang members, from top-ranked alleged gang members dying to gang members being killed on camera in HD. Every 3 hours and 3 minutes, a person is shot in Chicago, and every 15 hours and 21 minutes, a person is murdered. And this year, Chicago has been on a consistent downtrend of murders, which there has been about a total of 286 homicides.
It's already been made.
That video. Fuck, switchy on his dumbass.
Switch. 70 seconds. We've already done this out on this shit.
With this first one happening on June 3rd, 2024, this guy was allegedly from the L Block set, which this set is mostly Four Corner Hustlers, located on Lemoyne and LeClaire. But Jarion Smith, aka Mook Money from the L Block set, was killed on this day. I couldn't find any other information on this guy's murder, but he was only 19 years of age of his death. Then on the same day at around 3:40 p.m., Paxtown 071 is a set of gangster disciples located on 71st and Paxton. Paxtown beefs with a long list of ops including here. But around 3:40 p.m., Joshua Sharps, aka Lil Josh from Paxtown, was in his own hood in the 7000 block of South Morrell Avenue when someone approached him and shot him in the head, chest, and waist. He would be dead at the scene at only the age of 26. Then on June 7th, 2024, Taiwan Donald, aka G Smalls, from the SODMG set / Foley Boys, was found in the local northbound lanes of the Dan Ryan Expressway of 35th Street. He was pronounced dead at 10:11 p.m. at the age of 26. Then on the next day, on the 8th of June, an alleged Drill City member would die, which these guys are located on 79th to 83rd State to Stony Island. And this guy would be standing on the sidewalk in Trap City's hood at around 5:15 p.m. in the 6600 block of South Rose Avenue. When someone fired shots at him, he was shot in the chest and was taken to University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. He was only 21 years of age at his death.
I'm taking niggas to killing school. Class start next week. You gotta at least have 2 bodies though. For I ain't coming with no. If you ain't got shit, I can't work with no beginners folk. You gotta at least have a 2. I'm gonna give y'all 2 minimum. I'm gonna start at 2 minimum, cause y'all know why I'm gonna start at 2 minimum. Now I'm just doing it for a tradition. I'm gonna start at 2 minimum, man.
Then on the next day of June 9th, 2024, Dennis Green, aka OTF Trigger Black from the Lamron set, was in the alley in the 700 block of 66th Place when he was found with multiple gunshot wounds at about 8:40 a.m. He was also taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. Then on the same day at around 8 p.m., Kenneth Brown, aka King Ken from Taytown, was found shot right in between 2 houses in the 1100 block of South State Street. He would be pronounced dead at the age of 26. Then on the same day at around 10:08 p.m., a 30-year-old man was shot multiple times. He was from the Mikey World set. He was identified as Rashawn Holmes, aka Cat from Mikey World. He was a well-loved Mikey World member. Then June 14th, 2024, This guy was from the Princeton mob set, which they are located on 43rd and Princeton in the apartments. These guys are mostly mafia insane vice lords. But on the 14th, Damian Rags, aka Baby Snake / Lil Mook, was on the sidewalk in the 1300 block of South Independence Boulevard when someone opened fire, and these guys was caught on camera too. As you can see in the video, these are the suspects. He was only 13 years of age when he died. Then on the 16th of June, Jeremy Smoothers, aka 800 Stacks from the DDW set, was in GT Hood in the 1100 block of South LaSalle Street when shots were fired in his direction. He was struck multiple times and was taken to Christ Medical Center where he died at the age of 34. Then on the 17th of June, James Milton, aka G Slim from the Paxtown 071 set, he was shot in his own hood in the 2100 block of East 71st Street. At around 6:45 p.m., he was standing in the alley with a 74-year-old man that was shot multiple times in his body, but he was transported to the hospital in good condition. But G Slim died at the age of 53 years old, and he was an OG from Paxtown. But on the 25th, a murder would be caught on camera in a terrible way. This guy would be from the Blake Block / Local City set. This set is mostly located on Howard and Ashland. But around 3:30 a.m. on the 25th, Antoine Williams, aka Twillo from the Blake Block set, was in the 1600 block of West Howard Street. As you can see, he was standing around on this block, but a man would pop up in the alley wearing all black, and no one would notice him, all up until he would run up on him and shoot him in the back of his head. You can go to my website to see the full uncensored version in the description. After he shot him, the video will show his homie shooting back. He wouldn't hit anything, but 30-year-old Antoine Williams would die. Then on the same day again at 3:20 p.m., this guy would be from the GG Way set, which this set is filled with GDs and BDs. Antonio Holmes, aka Lil Hot / Jeffro. He was in the 9200 block of South Green Street. At about 3 p.m., when someone fired multiple shots, he would be pronounced dead at 3:20 p.m. at the age of 18. This would be the second loss for GG Way in 2024. Then on the 25th of June 2024, Royal Daring, aka Ike Royal from the G-Ville set, 47 years of age, was on a sidewalk in the 8700 block of South Carpenter Street. When he was shot in the back, he would be taken to Christ Medical Center in Oakland where he died. Then the next day, Naquan Murphy from Rack City / Cell Block was in the 700 block of West 93rd Street when they found him inside an SUV shot at about 9:15 p.m. He was lying unresponsive on the sidewalk, and he was shot in the leg, shoulder, and back. Then on the 29th of June, 35-year-old Nickel O'Neal, aka Cheeks from the BTBG set, was found with multiple gunshot wounds in the body in the 3300 block of West Franklin at about 11:10 p.m. He would be taken to the hospital where he would be pronounced dead. Then the next day on the 30th, 34-year-old Mark Lockhart, aka Marco Montana from the Front Street set, was found sitting in his car with gunshot wounds at around 11:40 p.m. He would be taken to Christ Medical Center in Oakland where he would be pronounced dead. Murders are down from the previous year in Chicago. Most of these murders happening in the Austin area with 21 murders. The Great Grand Crossing area seen a total of 17 murders, and the Auburn Great Sham seen a total of 14 murders. South Shore also seen a total of 14 murders, and Chatham seen a total of 13 murders. Through the ages of 20 and 29, a total of 81 people have died. 61 of them was through the ages of 30 and 39, and 41 of them was through the ages of 0 through 19. July of 2024 was a crazy month for Chicago gang members because 19 gang members died in 1 month.
Free J-Man, man. Free Screw, man. Who else?
From some of the most top-ranked gang members alleged of killing multiple people. Somebody died nearly every day in the month of July in Chicago, and every 2 hours and 47 minutes, a person has been shot, and every 14 hours and 5 minutes, a person has been murdered. And make sure y'all subscribe to my members only, where I post exclusive content, and you'll get all the videos early, and it's only $2.99. With this first murder happening on July 1st, 2024. It all happened at around 12:14 a.m. when a bus was traveling in the 34 4400 block of State Street when an altercation broke out on board, and someone on board pulled out a gun and shot Lamar McKay, aka Lil Hot from the Shield set. He would be killed in only his late 20s. Then on the same day at around 7 p.m., Tyler Wilson, aka Ty from the Geno Gang set, and an unknown man were behind an alley in the 8900 block of South Cottage Grove Avenue. The other unknown man was shot in the leg and was taken to University of Chicago Medical Center in good condition, but Tyler Wilson was shot in the chest and was taken to the hospital in critical condition where he died from his injuries. Then on the next day, on July 2nd, 2024, Jeremy Thompson, aka Boosie from the Carmack set, was shot around 9:30 a.m. when 4 assailants left their sedan and opened fire in the 4700 block of West Maple Avenue. He suffered from multiple gunshot wounds to his body and was dropped off at West Suburban Medical Center in Oak Park, where he died from his injuries. Then on the same day later on, 18-year-old Tayshawn Davis, aka Tay Sav from the BMG 1200 set, was shot in the 1600 block of State Louis in Markham, Illinois. He was only 18 years of age of his death. Then 2 days later, on July 4th, 2024, Anthony Howland, aka Ant from Brick Squad, was standing in the crowd in STB's hood in the 8400 block of South Carefoot Avenue when he was shot in the torso and was taken to University of Chicago Medical Center where he died at the age of 30. But around 2 a.m. on July 5th, Leon Trey Taylor, aka Munchie from the Sand Gang set, was in CMT hood, parked at a gas station when someone walked up on him and shot him multiple times. He would be killed in his 30s too. Then on the same day, on July 5th, Clarence Patterson, aka Boogie from the WBO57 set, was arguing with a gunman in the 6000 block of South Winchester Avenue when the gunman shot him multiple times and killed him at the age of 35. WB, which stands for Winchester Boys, are located on 57th and Winchester. They beef with Art Gang, HB, and Steph Gang. Then on July 6, 2024, Tyrese Gibson, aka Lil Wop from the Wop Gang set, was walking on train tracks at about 8:50 p.m. near the 1700 block of East 71st Street when 2 people approached him and exchanged gunfire with him. He was shot in the body and was taken to University of Chicago Medical Center where he died at the age of 25. Then July 8th, 2024, 18-year-old Asarana Hogan, aka Lil Scoon, from the GME/Roadblock set, and another teen were arguing with someone in the 700 block of East 89th Place when a person opened fire, striking him in the chest. He was pronounced dead at the age of 18, and he was a well-known rapper, and allegedly a girl set him up. Here's the exclusive CPD scanner audio after Lil Scoon's death.
602 Sam. 602 Sam. We're getting 24 rounds, 655 East 89th Place, multiple shooter, high capacity, and the second shot spotter for an additional 7 rounds at the same address, all coming from the side of the building.
10-4.
662 Charlie, show what's going on.
662 Charlie, units 6 citywide shot spotter, picking up 24 rounds, 655 East 89th Place, and we're getting additional 7 rounds that hit again. Side of the building, multi-shooter, high capacity, nothing further than my I need the car to arrive at 662 Charlie, 655 East 89th Place.
July 9th, 2024, Javion Cross, aka J-Ski from the Paxtown 071 set, was in his own hood in the 2100 block of East 71st Street at around 9:05 p.m. when someone walked up on him and shot him multiple times. He would be pronounced dead at Chicago Medical Center at only the age of 19. Then on the same day at around 11 p.m., 18-year-old Tremaine Hatchett, aka TJ from the STB set, was in the 8500 block of South Parnell Avenue when he was shot multiple times in the body, and he was in an apartment in his own hood. Then a couple days will go past and be July 11th, 2024. DeGontis Dangerfield, aka Twin from the THF46 set, was found by police unresponsive at around 4:30 p.m. inside a residence in the 5600 block of South Thrope Street. He was shot in the neck and shoulder inside Grimmy Gang hood. He would die at only the age of 24 years of age. Then only about an hour later on the same day, at around 5:15 p.m., police responded to a call of shots fired in the northbound lanes of I-95 between 79th Street and 83rd Street. When they got there, they found Tyon Bush, aka TJ from the 800 set. He would die in only his early 20s. On the same day at around 7:50 p.m., 30-year-old Marcus Ranson, aka Jr. from the G-Ville set, was found by officers in the 7100 block of Southwestern Avenue. He was found inside a vehicle with multiple gunshot wounds and was pronounced dead at the scene at the age of 30 years old. And he was in DMG's hood when he died. Then on July 12th, an OG would die from the Larryland set. Donzel Williams, aka Don Don, was hanging with other people in the back of a house in Rudeville's hood when two suspects approached and fired shots at him. He was pronounced dead at the scene. And allegedly, this was a huge loss for Larryland. Then 2 days later, on the 14th of July, Alan Sergio, aka Serlo, from the MTG039 set, was shot multiple times in his own hood in the 3800 block of South Wells Street. At around 2:15 a.m., he was shot multiple times in the body. He was only 33 years of age of his death. MTG039 are located around 39th and Princeton. These guys are mostly gangster disciples, and they beef with a long list of sets. Plus, this set has lost a bunch of members over the years. Then on the same day, on July 14th, Achilles Beasley, aka AB from the 757 set, was sitting in a parked vehicle in the 1800 block of West 88th Street at around 6:05 p.m. when he was struck in the leg by gunfire. He would die at only the age of 18 and was a well-loved 757 member, which 757 is an alliance between 3 different hoods, but some of the members are renegades and don't claim either. And also 757 don't claim all of their dead members, which this is allegedly why their ops clown them so much, where they only claim 8 dead members despite having more than 8 dead homies. Then this last member would be killed on the 24th of July. It was around 1:05 a.m., which 2 men were standing in the street in the 6300 block of South Compton Street. One was 21 years of age and the other was 22 years of age, which was Devontae Woods, aka Vontae from the TW set, when a gunman started firing from an alley at him. He died at only the age of 22 and was a well-loved TW member, which stands for Taekwon World. This would be the 19th member that died from gun violence in the month of July of 2024. This was one of the most deadliest months this year, but hopefully my videos help people in the streets and out of the streets stay out of this violence that's going on in Chicago, to use these videos to stay out of the violent areas. And again, make sure y'all go subscribe to my members only, where I post exclusive content. On the months of August and September of 2024, a total of 18 alleged Chicago gang members died, and some of these murders even happened on camera, and I have exclusive footage of it.
I'm feeling, man. Listen to the interview. Want to shout out? I'm feeling.
Stop playing violent. We say it out like the 4th of July.
We trying to
come out. Y'all come through one pipe, you see the 15.
But so far this year, there's been a total of about 489 homicides, and every 2 hours and 45 minutes, a person is shot, and every 14 hours and 6 minutes, a person is murdered, with these first homicides happening on August 3rd, 2024. And this would be a double murder. Carlos Galindo, aka Jero, and Miguel Meza, aka Mikey, both from the Damonville 2-6 set, were standing in their own hood in the 4800 block of South Winchester Avenue at about 6 p.m. when the car drove up and the people inside started firing shots. Both Miguel Meza, 15 years of age, and Carlos Galindo, 17 years of age, was shot. Miguel suffered gunshot wounds to the abdomen, and Carlos suffered gunshot wounds to the armpit and arm. They were both taken to the Coleman Children's Hospital in critical condition, where they both died. But 10 days later, an alleged member from the Ghost Mob TNG set would die on camera. And this would be a tragic event where these guys would get out their car and fire multiple shots over top of them. Of course, I can't show the full thing on YouTube, so make sure you go to my website to see the full uncut version of the video footage, which the link to the website is in the description. But after you finish watching that, make sure you come back to this video. But on August 13th, 2024, Davidson Francis, aka Davo from the Ghost Mob TNG set, was walking out of a convenience store at about 8:55 a.m. in the 5100 block of West Chicago Avenue when a silver car approached, when 3 men got out with ARs and automatic handguns and shot him multiple times. They let off a total of 50 shots in less than 20 seconds and left 31-year-old David Francis shot multiple times, where he was taken to Stroger's Hospital where he was pronounced dead, and he was in TBU hood when he died. Then the next day on the 14th of August, Jalen Powell, aka JP from the BTBG set, was in the 3400 block of West Franklin Boulevard when 3 males hopped out of a car and at least one of them opened fire. 17-year-old Jalen Powell was shot in the head and was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Then only 5 days later on August 19th, 2024, Jason Harvey Jr., aka Jason/Glow from the Fro Gang set, was found unresponsive in an alley in the 8200 block of South Shore Drive about noon. He was only 25 years of age and was shot in the head and body and was pronounced dead at the scene. August 20th, 2024, at about 5:15 p.m., Martez Morrow, aka Marty from the Mikey World/Wooga World set, was in the 300 block of West 75th Street when officers responded to a call of shots fired. When the officers got there, they found 3 men shot, 2 was wounded and 1 was unresponsive, who was Martez Morrow, 18 years of age, shot in the left torso. He was taken to St. Bernard's Hospital where he was pronounced dead from his injuries. Then an NLMB member would lose his life because on August 24th, 2024, Calvin Bruce, aka Bucks from the NLMB set, was standing in Black Mob's territory with another male in the 7500 block of South Kingston Avenue when 28-year-old Calvin Bruce was shot multiple times. Just at about 4:20 p.m., Calvin Bruce, aka Bucks, suffered gunshot wounds to his hip and took himself to Jackson Park Hospital, where he later died from his injuries. August 24th, 2024, Christian Tucker, aka C Money from the Rack City set, was found at about 7:15 p.m. in the 7200 block of South Washtenaw Avenue. He was found dead at the age of 21 and was a well-loved Rack City member. Only a day later, a girl that was allegedly a gang member would die. It was August 25th, 2024, Tanea Smith, aka T Money from the OTE set, was in her own hood when someone approached and fired shots at her in the 900 block of North Cambridge Avenue just at about 4:30 a.m. She was allegedly a well-loved OTE member and would die at the age of 20. These last 2 members for the month of August wouldn't die from gun violence. On August 26, 2024, Dekari Steele, aka Steele/G Snake from the E-Wall set, would die of natural causes. I couldn't find a picture of this guy or any other information. But on August 30th, 2024, Trent Bussell Smith, aka Vino from the Bashtown set, would die of an overdose. Again, there was no other information on this guy either. Now we get to the month of September, and these murders will start on the 9th of September. A man was fatally shot and a woman was critically wounded in a shooting that happened that Monday morning. Emil Riley Jr., aka Mills from the 051 Young Money set, was sitting inside of a car with his sister in Saracon City Hood in the 7400 block of South Kimbark Avenue when a white sedan approached and 3 men inside got out and opened fire. 30-year-old Emil Riley was pronounced dead at the scene. Then on the same day at around 4:30 p.m. near the intersection of South Lafayette Avenue and 79th Street, Devon Bill, aka Crazy from the Foster Park set, was inside a vehicle traveling westbound on 79th Street when a sedan, also traveling westbound, approached. That's when the men inside the sedan pulled out guns and shot the victim. He would be pronounced dead at the age of 30. Then 6 days later on September 15th, 2024, Jarnell Batty, aka Pooh Man from the Nitty Block set, was in the 3500 block of West 12th Place when someone fired shots and struck him in the abdomen. This all happened at 2:10 a.m. and he was pronounced dead at the scene. He was in NDM's hood when he got shot, and he was only 19 at the age of his death. Then on the next day on the 16th of September, around 2:04 12:05 a.m., officers responded to the 5600 block of South Thrope Street for a call of a person shot. When they got there, they found 18-year-old Davion Norrells, aka Baby Doc / Lil D, from the Pat Block / Spaz Gang set. He would be pronounced dead at the scene too. Then on the 18th of September, Tyron Shelter, aka Ty from the SOA set, was standing on a sidewalk in the 4100 block of West Crenshaw Street when a gunman walked up and began shooting at around 12:05 a.m., which Tyron was struck in the head and was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at the age of 23. Then September 21st, 2024, Childale Henderson, aka Greedy / Dale from the YKN 078/50 Strong set, was in the 5700 block of South Prairie Avenue at about 11 a.m. when someone stepped out of a black SUV and fired shots at him, striking him multiple times in the body. He was taken to University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead at the age of 29. Then on the 28th of September, Sharif Muhammad, aka CEO Holcomb / Lil Reef from the Risky Road set, was sliding through Drill City at around 2 p.m. in the 7800 block of South Maryland Avenue in Grand Crossing. When he was shot in the head, he drove himself to the hospital after, where he later died. Then on the 29th of September, which would be the last gang member that would die, Randall Glass, aka Raysky from the DMG FBC set, was at a Circle K gas station in the 300 block of Main Street when officers were breaking up a large party and they heard shots. 18-year-old Randall was the one shot when they got there. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition, where he later died from his injuries. We're going to go over every gang member that died in Chicago on the month of October of 2024. And a total of 14 gang members died, which every 2 hours and 47 minutes, a person is shot in Chicago, and every 14 hours and 1 minute, a person is murdered, which most of these murders are being caused by torso shots or head shots, which 113 people got shot in the head and survived, and 172 people got shot in the head and died. And a whopping 76.6% of these people that are dying are black, 20.2% are Hispanic, and 3.2% are white or other. Which is crazy to think about, that less than 3% of the people dying are white. 461 males have been killed, and a total of 61 females have been killed too in 2024. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my members only, where I'll be starting to consistently post exclusive videos for only my members, which this murder streak would start on October 2nd, 2024, with a boy that was only 14 years of age that was killed. It was around 11:50 p.m. when LaShawn Douglas, aka Sean from the Danny Mob set, was found laying on the sidewalk with gunshot wounds to his chest and the body in the 3500 block of West Cermak Road. He would be pronounced dead at 12:07 a.m. and was only 14 years of age of his death. He was found in his own hood, and he was from the Danny Mob set, which this set is located on 21st and St. Louis. Then only 3 days later, on October 5th, 2024, at about 12:10 a.m., Naquan Chavis, aka Nate from the S-Dub set, was in the 500 block of South Holman Avenue when this silver Nissan drove past and shot him multiple times. But on the same day, only a few hours later, at 3:32 a.m., Cody Brand, aka Max Shiesty from the State Boys 021 set, was found dead near Cullerton and Dearborn in the South Loop. He was found in apartments with multiple gunshot wounds in his own hood. This would be the second loss for State Boys in 2024. Also on the same day, on October 5th, 2024, but now around 10:15 p.m., Timothy Fulton, aka Tunchi from the Gville / World set, was standing with others in an empty lot in the 7900 block of South Ashland Avenue when someone fired shots. He was shot multiple times and was taken to Advocate Christ Medical Center, where he died. Then on the 14th of October, Terrence Maxwell, aka T Money from the Low Block set, was in the 100 block of North Menard Avenue at about 6:42 p.m. But then on the next day, on October 15th, 2024, Thomas Battle, aka Shorty Dog from the Black Mob / New Money set, was in the 3900 block of West Jackson Boulevard when he was approached by a gunman who shot him around 11:15 a.m. and the shooter would leave the scene in a silver SUV and has not been arrested. Shorty Dog was shot in FSG hood. He was a father and was a respected OG. He was only 36 at the age of his death. Then only 2 days later on the 17th, 32-year-old Robert Watkins, aka Bob Stacks from the Shorty gang set, was in a parking lot in the 800 block of North Kinsey Avenue just around 6:40 p.m. when he was surrounded by 4 armed men. He suffered from multiple gunshot wounds and was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital where he was pronounced dead. 2 days later again, on the 19th, Kavil Carter, aka Vel/VI from Trap City, was found by officers in the 3800 block of South Ellis Avenue with multiple gunshot wounds to his chest. But the crazy thing is, only a couple days later, his sister would be shot and killed at his funeral, which was Romisha Turner, 34 years of age, which was at 74th Street and Sealy Avenue, and she was killed around 12:01 p.m.
Damage on this property is what's left behind after police say Romisha Turner lost control of her vehicle when someone shot her. Around noon, Dixmoor police say they got a call for shots fired at 147th and Sealy. When they arrived, they found Turner inside of a white Jaguar. She had been shot several times. She was taken to Ingalls Memorial Hospital in Harvey, where she died. Turner was a sister, a mother, and to many, a well-known stylist. Police say she was killed during a funeral procession that just left St. Mark's Church.
Then on October 22nd, 2024, a shooting occurred around 8:24 p.m. in the 6600 block of South Chaplin Avenue. Anthony Smith, aka PGFQ50 from the OTN set, was found shot to death at the age of 15 in this area. And OTN is allegedly a set of Black P. Stones that also allegedly beef with No Love City. This next one will happen on the 23rd of October at around 8:20 p.m. Responding officers found 37-year-old Angelo Willis, aka White Folks, from the YKN 078 set. He was found in the stairwell of an apartment building in the 7800 block of South Marshfield Avenue. He was in his own hood when he was found, and this was the second loss for YKN 078 in 2024. Then on the 23rd of October, Aaron Neal, aka RNS Arrow, was an affiliate and wasn't too involved with any gangs, but he was an affiliate of Bando Boy / Face World 069 set, was found in South Suburban Dexmoor in a wooded area of Dexmoor Playfield Park Region 9. He was last seen getting into a SUV in West Englewood that Saturday night. He first went missing on the 19th of October and wasn't found until the 23rd, and he was only 24 years of age of his death. Then on the same day, on October 23rd, at around 2:50 p.m., Marlo Scott, aka Chief M3 / Marlo Mike from the Blake Block Lock City set, was standing on a sidewalk in his own hood in the 1600 block of West Howard Street when an unknown vehicle drove up and someone inside started shooting. He was hit multiple times in the neck, back, and abdomen and was taken to the hospital and died minutes later. This was the second loss for Lock City this year. He would die at the age of 29 years old. Then on October 25th, Trayvon Breedlin, aka T Money from the Grimmy Gang set, was on the sidewalk in the 5600 block of South Racing Avenue when someone started shooting at about 7:30 p.m. He would die at the age of 23 years of age, and he was in his own hood when he died. Then on the same day, on October 25th, 2024, Kurt Ball, aka Shorty Go-Kart from the Shorty Gang set, would die from an overdose. I couldn't find any pictures of this guy, but allegedly he was a well-loved gang member. And a lot of these murders that happened in 2024 happened in the Austin neighborhood, with a total of 48 murders and a total of 158 people wounded from gunfire. And in Englewood so far, a total of 33 people were killed and 166 were wounded. In Garfield Park, 27 were killed and 141 were wounded. North Lawndale, 22 were killed and 127 were wounded. South Shore, 28 were killed and 97 were wounded. But in the Grand Crossing neighborhood, 38 were killed and 68 were wounded, which means the Grand Crossing area has a higher death rate when somebody is shot. And Garfield Park in Austin are usually at the top of the list with the most homicides each year. Like last year, a total of 49 homicides happened in Austin and a total of 58 happened in Garfield Park. And this seems to be an ongoing trend each year, with 2021 being one of the worst years ever, with Chicago seeing over a total of 800 murders. But for this year, hopefully it doesn't get over 600. Every 2 hours and 57 minutes, a person was shot in Chicago in 2024, and every 14 hours and 25 minutes, a person was murdered, with Chicago seeing a total of 609 murders in 2024, and the police only had a 21% clearance rate, and most of these murders were either caused by headshots or torso shots. And Austin, Inglewood, and Grand Crossing were leading for having the most homicides in that area.
Yo, everybody off. It ain't like a but we run a block because we apply press. On Baby Grade ain't no op got a block because we stopped that bitch. We beat up every block. On Baby Grade ain't got no block. They can't do this. What we doing? Name my arm ain't got no block.
With this first Chicago alleged gang member that died on November 4th, 2024, 22-year-old Charles Allen, aka YB, from the KO gang set, was in the 3700 block of West Roosevelt Road. At around 10:50 a.m., someone behind the wheel of a black sports utility vehicle shot Allen as he walked. He would die at the age of 20 years old and was a well-loved KO gang member, which KO gang is Gangsta Disciples, located on 15th and Colon and 15th and Trip. They beef with Slug Life, FMG, Poppy Gang, Kenneth, and Johnny Mob. Plus, they've been active since the 2000s. But on November 24th, 2024, Shaquille Denham, aka Hothead from the OTV 029 set, was in the 400 block of East 87th Place at about 4:45 a.m. When someone opened fire on him, he was killed at the age of 28. This was the second loss for OTV in 2024. OTV 029 is a set of Mickey Cobras located around the area of 29th and State.
Fried trigger man on Dylan, we got you know that. Shout out OTV. You know that. Shout out Blood.
Shout man. Shout out.
If you want to hang around, you gotta turn your snake up.
Now, since I last met up with y'all, like y'all lost a brother.
TJ. One of the whole city.
It was some rumors going around that M Block Lil K had whooped you and sent you to a PC.
On that car. Yeah. 10. Oh, back to back.
But on the same day at around 7:10 p.m., Kanae Beard, aka K Keys from the 6th block set, was walking on a sidewalk in the 6700 block of South Ashland Avenue. When he heard gunshots, he attempted to run away from the gunshots, but he was struck several times. He was struck in the lower body and was taken to Bernard Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at 7:20 p.m. at only the age of 28.
On our community, gang.
That's one rule. We not leaving no guys. If you leave your homie, you fucked up. That ain't your homie. That, we ain't gonna say your homie, brother. Yeah, don't panic. That's all. One got shot right here.
Yeah, that's the blood stain right there.
Oh, right here. Yeah,
man.
Stop dissing, cause niggas diss and forgot they diss.
When all that diss and all this other shit, that's just gonna make motherfuckers wanna come and get you. And
let nobody send y'all off. Don't let your big homie send you off. Whatever you wanna call it. Man, y'all enjoy the summer, man. Do this shit the right way. Y'all. This world is getting money. Shit it be so different. Cause when niggas broke, they be mad as hell. We on a vlog with Adam.
December 4th, 2024, Brandon Greenwood, aka Chubbs, from the Bio Block set, at about 10:35 a.m., officers found Brandon Greenwood, 23 years of age, in the driver's seat of a silver Cadillac sedan with multiple gunshot wounds to his body in the 11,000 block of South Peoria Street. The Bio Block set is a Gangsta Disciple set located on 79th and Morrell. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead at the age of 23. Then on December 7th, 2024, Regardo Smith, aka Reggie Osama, from the Grimmy Gang set, was in the 1500 block of West Garfield Boulevard in the back of the Yards neighborhood when allegedly he was trying to rob someone in OTL's hood. But it went wrong and he lost his gun during a struggle and the victim shot him. which was a 43-year-old man. This was his second loss for Grimmy Gang in 2024. December 8th, 2024, Darnell Goss, aka Goose from Sedville 1300, was found in the street with gunshot wounds to the body in the 1100 block of South Francisco Avenue, all at about 1:28 a.m. He would be pronounced dead at the age of 23 years of age. He was apparently with some females in the car when a white car followed him and let off multiple shots. This would be the second loss for Sedville in 2024. Then on December 11th, 2024, 17-year-old DeJohn Garrett, aka Fat Drench from the Rudeville set, was found shot in the head in the 2500 block of East 80th Street. Allegedly, he got backdoored by his own gang. Rudeville Black Disciples located on 108th and Wentworth and 109th and Wentworth.
This 10 milli too. No, we all got big ass niggas. They not playing here. Legendary block, you know, right there. Always back on. We ain't mentioning no ops. They know who they is. Them niggas, I'm sure. And they know we run this bitch too. This right here, 108 Wentworth. This the heart of this shit. All this shit, us. No, from 107 to 111. That's our shit. No.
But when Fat Drench passed away though, a week ago, we seen y'all make a post dissing him, and it had the media confused because everybody thought Fat Drench was from his hood.
Fat Drench, you not from over here, man. It's some personal shit, but if motherfuckers want to take how they want to take it, it can, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna keep it a buck, for we turned that man up, you know what I mean? For like all that shit he was doing and all that shit, he got that name off of it.
December 13th, 2024, Jonte Brown, aka JD Munna from the O Block / Mafia Town set, was standing on a sidewalk in Mafia Town hood when a white sedan pulled up and fired shots at him. He was hit at least 12 times in the chest and died at the hospital. Mafia Town are mostly mafia insane vice lords located around the area of 43rd and Wabash. December 13th, 2024, Cordarrelle Cole, aka C Money / Cord from the LF 5200 set, was a passenger in a vehicle when somebody opened fire in the 3800 block of West Adams Street at around 5:15 p.m. He was struck in the head and was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at only the age of 28. Then on December 21st, 2024, Julian Lewis, aka Juju Beam from the Art Gang set, was at a party in Malltown in the 1700 block of East 67th Street at around 12:35 a.m. when he was found with a woman inside of a home. He was shot over 30 times and was pronounced dead at the scene. The woman though was taken to the hospital in critical condition with gunshot wounds to the face and neck, which I actually did an interview with Juju Beam a couple years ago right here, and he was actually talking about how he was beefing with some O Block members.
To like O Block, you know what I'm saying?
To like who block?
Like O Block, like Parkway Gardens.
Oh shit, it ain't too far. Probably like 5 tip better.
So do you know anybody from like O Block? Is your people's affiliated with anybody from around that way?
Shit, I know people from O Block, but it's like I got ops from O Block too. So it's like I can't really be too much kicking it with them niggas, man. Shit, basically like this nigga that claimed me O Block, his cousin was claiming the hood that we into it with. Shit, you know what happened, shit. He died. I don't know who killed him, but he died. Shit, and now Buddy won't smoke, so it's like.
And right here is where some O Block members responded after his death.
Cheers, me and my guys, we chillin'.
Rollie too free, sweetest thing.
Hey Juju, hey Juju 55th, whatever your name is. Stop playing with us, man. We can call
55th, nigga. Mike, nigga, come get your.
Art Gang is a Mickey Cobra and Black P Stone set located from 55th to 59th, Walcott to Polana. Then on December 22nd, 2024, Jakari Jordan Johnson, aka Jay Holcomb from the Dookie Way set, East End, was shot in the head in the 2300 block of East 93rd Street at about 7:15 p.m. He was pronounced dead at 9:33 p.m. and died at only the age of 16. He was apparently sliding with multiple people in Lafayette Hood when someone fired shots at him. After he was hit in the head, his friends drove him to the hospital. My condolences and prayers go out to the families that lost their loved ones in this war in Chicago. But that'll be about it for this video. Make sure you like or dislike, comment, comment, and subscribe. And let me know down in the comments what y'all want to see next. And as always, stay blessed and stay well. Yeah, I'm out.